Welcome to the Cornerstone Gun Dog Academy podcast. I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm really excited about today's topic. Right now, with where we're at and where you're at, if you're listening to this podcast as it is released, and this is February 2026, you are in a perfect place to train a hunt-ready retriever by next hunting season. Depending on the age of your dog, if you've got an 8-week-old dog, you can pretty much get ready to go and you can have a hunting retriever by next hunting season. Now, if you're getting your dog later, like July or something like that, or maybe even June or May, you're probably not going to be in the place. But this is for you if you just got a new puppy and you want it to be ready by next hunting season. So how do you train a hunt-ready retriever by next hunting season? What can you do, right? Because if you do the right things between now and then, you can end up with that dog. If you wait or you don't do it or whatever, then it might take a little bit longer, and that's okay too. Here's the thing. Wherever you're at, the first thing you got to do to get that hunt-ready retriever by next hunting season is choose not to settle. Choose not to settle and allow yourself to force or rush it just to have a hunt-ready retriever by the season, right? Is your dog truly hunt-ready, or are you just taking it hunting because you really want to? That's the big question. And look, let's get real. If you got this dog, the excitement is real. Honestly, I know you want to take your dog hunting. I want to take my dogs hunting. But if you put your dog in a situation before it is ready, then you're potentially going to have some bad side effects. And it's probably not worth it. So if you want your dog to be all that it can be, and when we're having this conversation, here's just one of my assumptions. You want your dog to be the best that it can be. You're looking for the best dog that you can have, and you want it to turn out. You're not looking for just an average dog or just to see if it can happen. You want the best dog that you can have. So when I'm saying these things, just know that's the angle I'm coming from. And if that's not you, then hey, by all means, that's fine. But that's where I'm coming from, and that's what I'm talking to you as. I'm assuming that's what you want. And you want the best dog that you can have. And if that's the case, that's the first decision. You're going to, no matter what, no matter how much effort you put in, if your dog is not ready, if it's not ready by this coming hunting season, you're not going to push the envelope and hunt it before it's ready. You're going to wait until your dog is truly ready. That's going to lead us to the second thing. Well, how do we know if our dog is truly ready to hunt? How old does my dog need to be? Well, it's not an age thing. It's not about age. Having a dog to do anything is all about skill level, not age. So are your dog's skill sets there? Does your dog have the skill sets that it's fluent and acquired and generalized at that it needs to have to be able to successfully hunt? That's the big question. So it's not age. So what are those skills? Well, first of all, your foundation needs to be completely built. You need to have an incredible foundation. We're not looking for a dog that's going to break. We're looking for a dog that's going to sit steady and wait until told to go. Secondly, you need to have a dog that delivers to hand. We're not looking for a dog that drops birds at our feet. We want a dog that delivers to hand nicely, because that's the best dog that you can have. And there's no point in settling for less, because you can have it if you put the work in. So just put the work in and you can get there. So we need a dog that delivers to hand nicely, holds the bird properly, doesn't shred them, doesn't do any of that mess, and doesn't drop it at your feet. That's going to be kind of one of the next things. And then finally, we need a dog that is versed with two skill sets, in particular, lining and marking. Your dog needs to be able to run a straight line, and it needs to be able to mark and see things fall and then go straight to them and pick them up. Other than that, you need some extra things like gunfire conditioning. You need your dog to be comfortable with water. You need your dog to be comfortable with decoys. Anything that your dog can experience on a hunt, your dog needs to be fully comfortable and prepared with, not just introduced one time to, but your dog needs to be very comfortable with. I will say, like when you get to the decoy thing, if the one thing that I don't want to compromise on is foundation and fetch work. That's got to be good. I'll say other than that, obviously gunfire and water. But if there was going to be anything you could skimp on, I would say it would be like the decoy stuff. Just know that if you're on your first hunt and you've skimped on it, then what your dog's going to do is it's going to walk out. It's going to go pick up and hold a decoy. It's going to come back. And then you're going to say, no, that's not what I want you to get. Go get the bird, and you're going to help them win. If you don't want that and you want your hunt to go amazing, like this dog is like really pro, like dang, this dog's been hunting for a long time, then we got to make sure we hold all these things. And that means the dog needs to be comfortable with the decoys. It needs to be comfortable with the birds and everything that it could experience, calling the whole 9 yards. That's another thing, again, that you don't really want to skip on is the duck calling and the multiple gunfires, because that's something your dog will experience. So once you've done all that, if your dog is to that level and your dog will sit steady, wait until told to go, it'll listen to you. It's in tune with you. It will recall when you need it to recall. And when the gunfire goes off, it still remains steady and it waits and it's excited and not scared. And then it jumps into the water like it's supposed to. And then it goes out there and picks up a duck and then comes back. Your dog's ready to hunt at that point because you've done the skills. And typically what that's going to be is a dog. And let me just go ahead and throw a little distinguishing factor. You can get a dog to do all of these things. And you can get it to do it pretty quickly, but can your dog consistently do it under pressure and under all the circumstances around? That's a different level of training. I just want you to know the level that we train to at Cornerstone is not that level. So you'll see a lot of dogs go to the trainer. They may go for about 4 months or a 5-month program. And the first 2 months of that is going to be spent on obedience. And then another month of that is going to, or maybe 6 weeks, a month and a half is going to be spent on fetch. And then after that, they're getting into the gun dog skills. If you've done that amount of training, that is not enough to have a dog truly hunt ready. That's enough to have a dog introduced on some skills and what I would call started. And that's a dog that is not ready to hunt. I would not hunt a dog in that situation. And you could, but it's not going to be here. What's going to happen is when you get in the situation, it's going to fall apart and the foundation may stay pretty solid, hopefully, but the dog may even break. It's just not going to be like what we're talking about, this conversation that we're having here. So my encouragement for you is it's going to take a little bit longer to train than just that, right? Because when you've done that amount of training, that's going to get you into a place to where the dog has some training, but it's not foolproof. It's not fully trained. And so getting back to the 4 stages of learning, you've got acquisition, fluency, generalization, and maintenance. If your dog has just acquired a skill, it's too soon to be putting it in a situation. At the very least, you need to be fluent. But even then, you really need to be generalized on a lot of this stuff. And so when I start saying, how long is this going to take? In the case of Cornerstone, you've got to get through week 36 of training. Week 36 of training. Now, we start at 8 weeks old. So the minute the dog comes home, you're starting week 1 and going from there. If your dog's 6 months, you've already done some of the stuff, so that cuts off some time, but you're still, the reality is. It's 36 weeks of training to get to where you need to go. And that gets you to a place where the dog is trained to that level that it can handle it in the real world situation. I'm not saying we're trained to a level that the dog can, do the concept. If the dog can do the concept, great, but can the dog do the concept in the real world under cold conditions, under exciting conditions, multiple gunfires, riding in on a polaris, getting up at 4 a.m., everything that comes along with hunting? Can your dog do all that? That's what you're training for. If you're a hunter, you're training for that. We're not training, can my dog do this in an open cut hayfield, or can it do it at the local soccer field when kids aren't around and I can actually go out there and train. I need my dog to do this under the harsh, exciting, big conditions. And that's what you need to train for. And whatever your conditions are, you may hunt differently, and however you hunt, that's what you should be training for. So I really had to just lay that distinguishing factor in there, because I know people are sitting there saying, well, it doesn't take that long to train a dog. I can get my dog to be doing 100 yards in a week. Well, sure, so can I. But yeah, your dog doing 100 yards in a week isn't the same thing as your dog doing a 100-yard retrieve when there's a lot of gunfire out and you've rode out on a boat or you've gone out on a Polaris and there's multiple decoys, 24, 36, 100 decoys, whatever you put out, and then multiple shots, and then your buddy wounded a bird, so they're still shooting on the water splashing everywhere, chaos, people yelling and excited, like, whoa, we did it, we finally got the birds. That is a different world than just training one afternoon after work and getting a little peace and quiet before you hang out with a family. That's a totally different experience. So that's what we're training for. And so that requires a higher standard, that requires more training to get to that level, and that requires more effort, but that also requires more dedication. And that also requires making sure that you're not settling for less. And so that is a distinguishing factor there. So how can you have a hunt-ready retriever by then? Well, you start today. As soon as you hear this podcast, you should be starting right now. What should you be starting on? Well, let me just say this. We don't want to get into this thing where we're just like, we're fighting to get there. We want to choose to be consistent, train on a consistent schedule. So that's step one, get a consistent training schedule. What does that look like? At Cornerstone, we recommend 4 days a week. Can you do 4 days a week, and can you do about 20 minutes each day you train? That's step one. Step number two is make sure you're doing the right things in the right order that's going to get you there. Make sure there's no holes in your training. If you have holes or you have gaps, you could end up out there on game day and the dog fall apart and it not look good. And then that's not the end of the world. It's just not what we want. We want to have a hunt-ready retriever. We are looking for a dog that is ready to hunt by next hunting season. So if you want to have that hunt-ready retriever, you better make sure that there's no gaps. There's no things that you're missing. Otherwise, you'll learn what those gaps are on hunting day. So we got to make sure that we've got that, right? You've got your consistent schedule, make sure you're doing the right things in the right order. And then finally, just make sure to stay consistent over time and get help and ask for some help along the way. What does that look like? That looks like you found a community of people that you can be surrounded by, that you can ask for help, because you're probably going to hit some problems. You're going to hit some roadblocks, and you're going to need to know how to solve those problems. If you don't, then that's going to be one of the biggest barriers between getting from where you want to where you want to be, which is that hunt-ready retriever. And that's, what do you do when problems arise? Well, you got to do the right things when problems arise. Part of that is just being surrounded by the right people that can help encourage you, can help coach you along, and help you see, is this really a problem, or is this just a minor stumbling block? Because on the dog training journey, sometimes the problems you face that day are really just a that day only problem, meaning it's just a one-off thing. I mean, your dog's a creature, it's not a robot, so they can have bad days too. And so sometimes it could be one of those things. But if you're an inexperienced trainer, you've never trained before, you might be thinking, this is the end of the world. This dog's never going to turn out, right? You're going to be having those thoughts. And so then you start spiraling out of control, and you start trying new things, and you start panicking. But if you got people around you that can say, hey, I've been there, that's totally normal. That's fine. Like, you're going to be okay. That can give you that peace to know, like, I don't need to spiral. I can stay the course here. We're going to be okay. And so really that's the kind of the three things. Consistent schedule. Make sure you're actually doing the right things in the right order, and then get people around you that can help you be successful. So if you start right now and you've got a plan that can help you get there, or a system to help you get there, you can get there. What does that look like from here to there? That means we're starting in February. Depending on when your big duck season is, could be October, could be November, depending on where you're at. There's plenty of time to get the job done if you're consistent. Now, as we start approaching, what should this look like? Well, phase one should just be fun. It should be exciting. You should be making it fun for the dog. Then you get into the next phase, which is where you've got the foundation built. Now we're turning up the heat a little bit. We're going to get more detailed. We're going to help the dog be the best that it can be. And then phase three should be more fun, but it should also be like we're building off the foundation. Like, we're doing bigger retrieves. We're doing things that we'll actually experience. And as you shift into the final phase, or the final leg of having a hunt-ready retriever by hunting season, you should really start to be preparing for the hunt. But only once you've got all the skill sets down and you've taught the dog what it needs to know, how to respond in the certain situations, then you piece it all together and you do what we call mock hunting. And that's what we love to do at Cornerstone. You'll see that in our Cornerstone local chapters. You'll see that at the member weekend when we do all of that. We do mock hunting situations where it's like the real thing. We're shooting, everything is like the real thing. And the dog gets that experience in the training setting. And I can't tell you how many times that we've had a member weekend, or I've had, like this past fall, we did a member chapter event here in the Birmingham chapter. By the way, if you don't know what chapters are, they're local chapters or local groups of Cornerstone members that gather together, train together, they connect, they share, and they grow together. And so at Birmingham, we connect, share, and grow in Birmingham, Alabama, because that's where we're at. And so we got together and we did a mock hunt, and I asked everybody, hey, what kind of hunts you planning? What's coming up? And a couple of people said, hey, we're going on a goose hunt here in a couple of weeks. So we did a mock goose hunt. And we worked through some problems. We kind of made it a little challenging. We put some big sellers out there over the hill. And it was really nice that we did it in this environment when there actually wasn't birds coming in, because there were some challenges where someone had to get out and they had to go walk out and help the dog work through some things. And if you don't do it in the field before you go hunting, what's going to happen is you're going to end up doing it in the field while you're hunting, or you're going to end up having to put it off depending on how many people are with you, and do you have the liberties and the freedom to be making adjustments on the dog in the field. I prefer just to have the dog ready when I go hunting. So that's what we did, and it was really incredible to see. But that's where we'll be at. But in the spring here, what I would be looking at is, let's just focus on connection. Let's focus on the bond. Let's focus on the things that it takes to really build that rapport and the relationship with the dog. And that's done through obedience. That's done through some fun training. You make it fun, let them have a good experience, and it's going to be amazing. So that's kind of the pathway to have a hunt-ready retriever, is start now, get a consistent schedule to where you say, I'm going to train 4 days a week, barring any big issues. And if you need to take a little break, that's fine, but let's be consistent if you're going to get there. Making sure that you're doing the right things in the right order. Let's talk about that for a second. Maybe you don't know what to do. If you don't know what to do, we can help you with that. Cornerstone Gun Dog Academy has step-by-step online courses that will help you know exactly where to start, what to do next, and how to solve problems. And when we say course, this is not a dog training program. This isn't a program that is just put together by a pro trainer. This is a systematic process that if you go through the process and you implement the process, you will get results on the other side. We've seen it with thousands of people. They've done it. They've trusted the process. They've started with their dog. They've done the weeks. They've done the daily sessions. And it tells you exactly what to do, how many reps to do, and all of that. And they followed through, and on the other end, boom, here is a dog that they can hunt with. In fact, I hunted with one member that had a veteran dog that has been with us. You've probably seen some of his first hunts, and that's Colin Berry. We filmed some of that. We have a video called Duck Dog Redemption on YouTube. You can check that out. And I hunted with Wayne Triplett and his dog, Millie, and it was Millie's first hunt, and it was really cool to see how she learned on the job. And it was really amazing to just see her steadiness. I've already told this story on another podcast, but I was just blown away. Number one, her steadiness when 20 or 30 or 40 geese are right out there at 20 yards, and she's just sitting there, a brand new dog, has never seen this before. She's just looking like, wow, doesn't break. Multiple guns, 8 or 9 guns, boom, 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 shooting after the birds fall to kind of put some out, and then even running out there was able to still stay under control. That just shows that the foundation was there. Now, Millie had some things going on with the decoys. Wayne took a detour there and went after some hunt test titles, which was great. He wanted to start working through started. And so when you start working on that, you're less worried about the hunt prep and you're more focused on actually running the hunt test, or really, let's just call it a test. They call it hunt test. I think the better term for it is just test, because you're just testing the dog on some concepts. And he was able to be successful at that. But I think as he went down that path, didn't quite get some of the decoy stuff, but Millie picked up on it so quick because everything else he did was so fantastic. And the connection was there. The bond was there. He was able to direct and communicate to Millie, even though she was a very young dog and this was a big dog hunting experience. He was able to stay connected with his pup and direct her and overcome the little decoy challenges very, very quickly. So it was really amazing to see. And that's why I'm saying this first phase is really the most important as you embark, like right now in February, through the next few months, as you embark on connecting with your dog, building that rapport, the relationship, working through obedience skills. That's going to be one of the most important things that you do, because the bond you have, the connection you have is crucial. That's also one of the beautiful things about training a dog yourself, is you get to have the bond with your dog versus the trainer bonding with the dog. When you do the dog training yourself, you potentially could even have a better dog because you have that connection, because you have that bond, right? And there's no transition time. When you get the dog back, you're not having to try to build a relationship with this dog because you've done all the training yourself. So that's another one of these beautiful things about, if you want to have a hunt-ready retriever by next hunting season, you can start that right now, and you can have that bond, and you can develop that bond with your pup now. So work on that, develop that bond. Take time. And also when you're not training, hang out with the dog, do some fun stuff, go on walks with the family, go whatever it is that you do, whether, whatever it is, pickleball, anything that you do, go have some fun and bring the dog along for the adventures and build that rapport, build that relationship so that by next hunting season, you've got that hunt-ready retriever. So those are some things you can do. Those are the 3 things: consistent schedule, follow a plan, and then get people in your corner to help you. That's another thing that Cornerstone can help you with. Cornerstone can help you with all 3. We have a consistent schedule we go by. We show you what that is. We tell you what that is. It tells you exactly where to start, what to do next. The process, the videos show you how to solve problems, how to work through all that. And the community is also a great problem-solving tool. But then you've got the people in your corner to help support you. We've got tons of members using the app. We've got local chapters. All of the above. That's something that you can personally plug into and build some great relationships. I know I want to shout out Ron and the Dallas-Fort Worth chapter. They just had a recent meeting. It was really cool to see. In fact, we had a call. We had our live Q&A call the other night, and we were talking, and as I was on this call, this blew me away, honestly. Someone asked a question, and so that's part of one of the monthly live Q&As we do here in Cornerstone. Someone said, hey, I'm having this challenge, and so I start talking through like, hey, here's some things you can do, and then another member jumped on and said, hey, we can work through this this coming weekend. And come to find out, they were both in the Dallas-Fort Worth chapter. He said, I'll help you work through this. I had the same problem with my dog. Here's what I did. But if you want to work with this, we'll actually work on it this weekend when we go meet up. And I thought that was the absolute coolest thing. I was like, that is truly amazing. Like, you've got someone saying, hey, I've been there, I've done that. In fact, I'll actually help you because we're going to be training together this weekend. And it was just so incredible. See, I'm so proud of each of our chapters. I'm proud of the people that put on the chapters, the Cornerstone Dream Team. You got the people out there doing the work. If it wasn't for each of those people, it would be impossible to pull that off. But we've got amazing people that are really awesome, and the support and the excitement that was there was truly incredible. So I just got to brag on our members because I'm just so proud of them. And I just want to shout you out, Dallas-Fort Worth chapter. That was really, really cool to see. And I love seeing that. And I know we'll see a lot of that this spring. But now for you, if you're watching this or you're listening to this episode, my encouragement for you is take some time, think about this. Do you want to have a hunt-ready retriever by next hunting season? And if you do, dive in. Let's get after it. Let's make it happen. And if you want help, we are here to help you. Come join, get involved, get connected to the community. We will help you be successful with your dog and have that hunt-ready retriever by next hunting season. That is it for this episode. I do have one question for you, and it's something that I would just appreciate if you like these episodes. Number one, would you please consider leaving a review? You can leave it on Spotify or Apple, but please leave a review. Let me know what you like about the podcast. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, comment below. Let me know what you like. And number two, if you're watching this on YouTube or you're a Cornerstone member and you would like something covered, maybe a specific topic or a problem, you can comment that or you can tag me on that in the Cornerstone app. Say, hey, I would love to hear an episode on XYZ. These are one of the things I would love to know more about. And I'd be happy to make a specific episode addressing that. So thank you so much for listening. It means the world to me that you take the time to listen to these episodes, and it means the world to me to get to serve you in this capacity. That's it for this episode. We'll see you in the next one.